Greetings! Today we're going to talk about the Huen Sao and its usage. Okay? There are three things that basically Huen Saos are used for. One is to release pressure, release energy. Two is so we can return energy back to the opponent, and for example, in multiple striking, we can bring the energy back to continuous attacks. And the third one is to slip the grip. Okay? I'm going to show you some drills today, but before we do that, we have to learn how to Huen. And we're going to talk about how it works and the energy behind it. Okay? One thing we always want to keep constant is forward pressure. And what do I mean by that? Like a spring, even if you push it backwards, you still feel the pressure when to push forward. We can yield, but we always have to have forward pressure. Huen Sao is no different from any other point of our hands, from the Pak Sao to the Tan Sao to the Fuke Sao to the Vil Sao. It doesn't make a difference. Okay? Well, I'm going to break down the movement of the Huen Sao. Okay? First off, we want to make sure when we do a proper Huen, it is from not just the fingers. Okay? We don't do just the fingers. We also want to apply the wrist, right here, that wrist bone. And why is that important? You'll see later on in the drill. Okay? We want to take our hand and we want to keep the elbow very steady. We don't want the elbow to move, but we allow the elbow to pivot. So we can pivot the elbow, but we cannot move the elbow. It's very important. And why is that important? Because when you Huen like this, and you Huen around with the wrist and the fingers, you can keep the energy towards your opponent. And that gives pressure towards them. Okay? And don't confuse forward pressure with committed pressure. We're not trying to push the opponent's energy back in them. We want to maintain pressure to them. And that's how we can control the opponent's force. Now, the reason why we don't want to take our elbow and move it backwards or sideways is because when we do that, our energy is no longer forward. Our energy goes backwards to our shoulders, causing us to collapse, allowing the opponent to take the pressure. As you're Huening, he can press that energy into you, causing you to break structure, and then he can invade you. Okay? The goal is to do a proper Huen from the fingers and the wrist as well. If you look at my hand, okay, I make a circle from the fingers, but also there's a tiny circle in the wrist. This is important because we need to have this energy circle from the wrist because we need to roll around the opponent's grip. If you do this motion where your wrist doesn't move, if you look, your hand goes nowhere. So you might be slipping around a grip, but you're going nowhere anyways. You're staying on the same side. The hand from the grip has to go to the other side of the hand, of the arm of the opponent. With that, you can develop the ability to escape. Okay? We're going to show you some drills and show how it works, and we're going to hopefully, with enough practice, you can get this. It's a little bit difficult because most people like to put energy backwards, and it's very important that we keep energy forward. Without forward energy, this will not work, and most of your deflections and techniques will not work without forward pressure. Okay? So we're going to do a drill. I'm going to show you how to do this. Okay? And this first game is to teach you how to release pressure, not through the shoulders, but through the wrist. Okay? When we do this, okay, if I do this and I lop him, this is a great drill for both partners where the guy learns how to deflect through a Tan Sao or Pak Sao or Wu Sao. Okay? But we're going to use the Tan Sao for now. There's a Pak Sao technique and there's a Wu Sao technique, but we're going to do the Tan. Okay? And when you grab him, you want to grab him down with a forward pressure. Notice how my hand does not go backwards to go forward. That will be incorrect because if I go backwards and he feels that he can invade that space in that moment of time and I get shut down. The goal is to take the hand down with the pressure and go forward. If you haven't seen the video with the Lap Sao, it'll demonstrate how to do this properly. So if you haven't seen that video, please go see it and it'll explain to you how we do the proper gripping, how we do the proper energy of our hands. Okay? So when we grab, we want to grab the opponent down. He's going to deflect it. He's going to deflect it. And from time to time, okay, if you have a partner, you let him randomly take his hand to grab you. And as he does, you want to create that slipping. See? And I can create the strike from that. And he might want to block it, so it's a good technique for him. To, as he grips you, you release under the pressure, and you might strike, and he'll block it with a parry with a Pak. Then we just pull it right back down, and we come right back up. So you see how we create this energy drill? So it's 1, 2, 3. So if he grabs me, notice how my hand releases the pressure. Okay? Then from there, I can create the strike off that, and he will parry off the Pak. And that's how he can just counter that side. That's the development of skill on his part. Where you can create 1, 2, 3. And as he grabs you, notice how I relax the wrist and allow it to move. Okay? Then I can bring the hand and change the game. See how we can change this game where we can play as you get better. But the basic concept of this is, as he throws a lap, I would Huen, and then I can strike him, he would Pak this. Okay? Then we just go down.